Hello friends, my name is RagePanda1 and today's video is going to be a rant. It is going to be full of negativity and it might be a little bit angry. In the end, I'm going to try to bring it together with some positivity and some suggestions for moving forward. But look, if you don't like negativity, this ain't the video, man. I'll see you in the next one, for real, and I don't even blame you. With that disclaimer out of the way, we have a huge problem in Bloodline. A huge problem. And it's been a huge problem since the beginning. I have never liked it. I have said I didn't like it from the beginning. And I'm going to tell you what the beginning was like just because it's been over a year and some of you may not have been there when it happened. That's right, we're talking about Guild Conquest. When Guild Conquest was released, they told us that a new game mode was coming. For a couple of weeks, they did a beta test of a different game mode, and they said, this is not Guild Conquest. Guild Conquest is going to be a PvE game mode where you will go and fight bosses with your team, and there may be score rankings where you compare to other guilds, but in general, it's meant to build cooperation inside your own guild and give you something to do other than PvP. I was ecstatic for that. During this beta test of the other game mode, we were literally playing Guild Conquest. Even though they directly told us that this was not Guild Conquest, they said that to us as we were testing this other game mode. Nobody liked the new game mode. Nobody still does. Now, I'm absolutely positive that there's somebody out there who maybe you're just a contrarian, or maybe you just like to be the special drop of water in the ocean, and you're going to go in the comments below and say that Guild Conquest is your favorite thing you've ever played in any video game. You don't see how anybody could dislike it, and you're really, really special for believing that. But I don't care. I don't care that you like it. You'd be the first person that I've heard say that you like it, but I don't care. I have been asking people if they like it for literally a year. I have been talking to people about the game mode and how fun it is. I have not heard a positive comment from a single person the entire time. So I have been doing my research on this. Maybe I just got to the wrong people and there's way more people that like it than don't. And if I see that represented in the comments below, maybe I'll reconsider my position, but don't count on it, bucko, because I've been talking to a lot of people about this. Okay, so the game mode came out under false pretenses and we hated it. We were promised something we were all excited about, and then we got the bait and switch and ended up with a completely different game mode that we were literally told was not the game mode that we were looking at. So just starting out, I was not happy at all. The game mode is not fun, in my opinion, and in everybody else that I've talked to's opinion, and there are several reasons why. Number one, it doesn't respect your time at all, because why? You get benefits from not sleeping. If you engage in behavior that is detrimental to your health, you'll get benefits in playing the game mode. You kind of have to pay money to be able to keep up with playing it that much, and as we're going to find out, a lot of the top whales have multiple accounts that they have to run so that they can get all the speed boosts and everything that they actually need. Now, when I planned this video out, I wanted to have eyewitness testimony and a bunch of quotes from a bunch of these top players that I'm about to mention, but it's becoming a hassle and I just want to get it off my chest, and so I'm doing the thing and it's just the way it's going to be. Maybe we can go into further detail with more direct quotes at a later time, but right now I'm sick of looking at it and I don't want to deal with it. So, the fact that the game mode does not respect your time and it expects you to be at the computer or at your phone 24 hours a day, responding to everything that gets done and spending more and more money to keep up with that. That's why a lot of the top players are quitting, and this is a sign that the game is dying. We're going to go into a little more of Guild Conquest in just a minute, but here's what I want to, this is the diagnosis that I want to lay upon you, and Goat Games, I really hope that you're listening because I'm going to try to offer some suggestions to make it better, but you need to be aware of this problem because you are killing your game. Now, the first thing I'm going to reference is the Q&A with Bobby, where they said, when asked about people just not playing in Valley of Conquerors, they queue up and then they no-show, they don't play. Are they going to implement anything to help that or change the balance of Valley of Conquerors? Bobby's response was, no, we're not doing anything with Valley of Conquerors. In fact, we don't intend to change it ever again. We only plan on working on Guild Conquest. That's a problem. Do you know why they're doing that? I can tell you why. It's because people spend a lot of money to play Guild Conquest because they have to if they want to be competitive at a top level. I've got some people here that I'm about to mention who who are literally spending thousands of dollars per month. Not all of them are, but many of these people that I'm about to mention have spent over $10,000 on the game, some of them significantly more, and some of them have been spending that much for literally a year. All of these people I'm about to mention have quit the game or are going to quit the game, and none of these people that I'm about to mention still play their own account when it comes to Guild Conquest because they hate it. I had to censor that part because I almost said a naughty word. So here you go. Here's a list of some players that are no longer playing the game specifically because of Guild Conquest and or the sprite system, both of which have similar issues, and honestly, the sprite issue is only an issue because of Guild Conquest. So there you go. All right, we've got players like Bloodlust. I have had a chance to chat with Bloodlust. He has a lot of negative stuff to say about the game mode, and I don't blame him. He is officially done. He ain't coming back. That's money that Goat Games is never going to see again. Just a drop in the bucket. We've got Morgana, who has quit the game. Also gotten a chance to speak with her. In the past 3 months alone, she has spent almost $10,000 on the game, and that income is gone because she's done too. A lot of you will know Gorilla because we've been talking about him and how huge his account is for over a year. The word on the street is, I haven't actually heard this from him, but I've heard it from other players, Gorilla is also done with the game. He has quit. No more spending happening. He may have passed his account on to somebody else to play for a little while. I cannot confirm nor deny those accusations. And I'm not going to go into detail on every single person's situation here, but we have people like Ghost, Nightmare, Haru, Bad Situation, Lilith. The list goes on. That's a long, long list. We all know Neo Geo quit a long time ago. There's even a couple more people who have just passed their accounts on and let other people play it, but they refuse to play it themselves because they absolutely hate the game mode. Nobody likes Guild Conquest. But even though nobody likes it, the developer is telling us that that's going to be their main focus. Isn't that sweet? Let me tell you why that's happening. The reason that that is happening is because people are spending money on this game mode that they hate, because there's the shiny Bloodcraft legends that they can get at the end of the rainbow, and they don't care what it takes. They just see the shiny reward and want to get that. Well, the system is broken, ladies and gentlemen, because when you are trying to just buy yourself the reward, what you're actually buying is a worse game because they see that as an investment. They think you like it. They think you like Guild Conquest. That's how out of touch the developer is. They don't realize that people are dropping off in their hundreds every single day because they're tired of dealing with Guild Conquest. Nobody wants to play it. They're so out of touch that they've made it their main focus. That is wild to me. Absolutely wild. If you ask anybody, they're going to tell you that, well, yeah, I play it because I want to get the rewards for it. It's got really nice rewards, so I want to get those. But they don't want to play it. They don't enjoy playing it. And what are people going to do when they spend hundreds of hours doing a thing that they hate for a reward that feels bad when they get it? Because let me tell you something. A lot of the Bloodcraft legends that you actually get as rewards, they're very nice to have and fun, and then you replace them because you don't care. But it took you 6 freaking months to get it as a free-to-play player, and you think that sounds like an exaggeration, but if we're talking about getting mythic gear, getting all the books that you need, and getting the champion in general, it literally could take you that long if you're actually free to play. Especially if you're on a guild where nobody is paying to carry you through, because the people who are winning Guild Conquest are the ones who are paying. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it's extremely pay to win. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about. All of these speed ups and health recovery items, they were not available for purchase right away when the game mode came out. But the very next patch after the game mode came out, they implemented all of that stuff to make it extraordinarily pay to win. And I know, these games are always pay to win. That's the whole point. You put in extra money, you get stronger dudes. That's just how it works. That's fine. But at least I can go into Valley of Conquerors and play the game and maybe go to sleep every now and then and get a healthy lifestyle going while I'm enjoying my game and have a little more fun. I don't feel pressured in the moment to spend a couple extra dollars because, man, I'm really tired of seeing Kitty win, so I'm just gonna spend a couple extra bucks so she doesn't win this time, because that's what's happening. That's what's really happening. There are people who are infighting so crazy hard at the top level that they are switching guilds so that they can get with different guilds to bully other people's teams, even on their alt accounts, because that's just the state of the game that we're in. Not only is Guild Conquest killing the game by making players quit, it's also making players hate each other. So isn't that healthy for your game? And yes, I am upset about this entire situation because I don't want the game to die. I want it to be fun. They tried some half-hearted PvE content that wasn't good and people didn't like it or pay enough for it. And then they said, you know what, we're probably not going to do that ever again. People said they didn't like it that much when we brought it out. And now here we are. Now you're getting pay to win game modes and more pay to win game modes that don't respect your time. What's come out since then? How about Sails and Sabers? Look, Sails and Sabers could be actually kind of fun, but it's not. Why is it not? Because you gotta babysit it the whole dang day, and you gotta watch some stupid 20-second animation of a boat swimming back and forth in between the land masses every single time you want to make a trade, and that's not fun either. Not to mention the matchmaking, where you have one team that has 15 million power, and then you're fighting against people that have 3 teams of 30 million plus, and you're thinking to yourself, how did we get here? Why is it like this? The reason is because people are abusing the system, by the way. They're doing that on purpose. It's not an accident. They're tricking their way into getting into that sort of stuff by abusing cross-server, which is not as fleshed out as it needs to be, and it's a huge problem for many other reasons besides just Sails and Sabers, but that's not what this video is about. I'm just in one of those moods, and I thought I'd mention it. So just so everybody knows, this video started because I wanted to make a tips video for Guild Conquest. I've been playing it for weeks, absolutely hating every second of it, but I wanted to develop some strategies that might at least help people who want to play it. And all I figured out as I interviewed a bunch of people and tried to see, well, you play a lot of this. What is it that you do? How do you like it? All of them say, I hate it. I hate playing this. And you know what ended up happening in my experience? Either I was the jerk who was wildly overpowered and nobody could fight, and then I just took the whole board and everybody else hid in their base, or I played against some other jerk who was 3 times as high as I was and I couldn't fight them at all, and it was no fun. Either way, it was no fun. It just wasn't fun, and I don't want to watch a map for 24 hours a day to make sure I'm catching all of the minor moves. Nobody wants that. Somebody might enjoy a Guild Conquest where it's a long form, where maybe you get to make a handful of moves each day, and the game mode lasts for like a month, but it only takes 15 minutes of your time every time you play it, and it requires you to talk to your guild and perhaps get in a Discord call and form a strategy. Wouldn't that be better? Instead of trying to do knee-jerk reactions to people and spending so you can get your speed-up cards so that you can react to every move 24 hours a day. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. And nobody wants to only be able to get Bloodcraft Legends through that terrible system that we hate. And by the way, since I'm hoping that you're paying attention, Goat Games, we also don't want to spend 400 American dollars if we were going to buy the Bloodcraft Legends for the shards. We don't want to do that. Are you shocked? You shouldn't be. You should not be shocked. Nobody wants to do that. And of course, some people do, and that's why we're still seeing it in our game. Thanks a lot, big spenders. You're really doing it. You're really doing it. So that's just a minor suggestion of a way that they could get a similar game mode and have it be, I don't know, not a nightmare. The number one thing here is respecting the player's time. That's the number one thing. The number two thing is that you can't make it so stupid pay to win that it's not fun for anybody who's not spending hundreds of dollars a season. Most of these top players that just quit the game are literally spending $1,000 in a Guild Conquest season where they're up against somebody that they don't like. Now, it's not always going to be that difficult for them, and they might not need to spend, but when they do, they will spend up to $1,000, even a little bit more if they have to. That's how crazy it is. That's why Goat Games is focused on that game mode. But I want Goat Games to make money, so let's talk about how they can also make money and not ruin the stupid game. Goat Games, buddy, pal, friend, you are sitting on a treasure trove and you don't understand that it's a treasure trove because you are in a different market, okay? You're making a game that is being produced in the Chinese market and you think that what works in the Chinese market is definitely going to work in America. But let me tell you something. You have something that you could do that would make you way more money than all of the money that you're losing with the people leaving Guild Conquest. It would engage players on multiple levels, so you wouldn't just be adhering to the whales. You would also be providing value to people like me who are light spenders. And I guarantee you, if you did this, you would encourage people to spend who have never spent before. Are you ready? Here we go. If you made cosmetic items that were reasonably priced, did you hear those keywords? I said reasonably priced, and I already got the plan for you. Just keep watching. What you're gonna do, you're gonna make skins for all of the champions. all of the champions, not just the ones that you think people like. I want 2 skins for all of the champions. I'm not talking about recolors. I'm talking about new 3D models that you have crafted. Don't do recolors. We don't like them. Nobody likes them. We don't like them when we get it as a reward. We don't want to buy it. We don't care if we get it for free. We do not like recolors. We like skins. You've gotten good at making skins. You've made several now. Almost all of them are really good. Doing that. But make at least 2 of them for every champion in the game. Now you're going to sell all of those for $6 each. Are you with me? Now you're going to look for, okay, what are the most used champions? Male Water and Sun, female Lionstone, a lot of the ones you've already been making skins for. Hey, while you're at it, you may as well hit up that male Akuna and maybe the Bjorn Kriegers, maybe a panda skin, I'm just saying. Now, you've got hundreds of skins available. People are buying them for their team all the time. But guess what else you can do? You could do loot boxes. You could do loot boxes full of skins where people get to take a roll at the chest. Well, what's the trade-off then if we're already just selling them the skins and they can buy them whenever they want? Well, instead of spending $6 for a skin, maybe we could use these loot boxes as rewards for events because people would love that. It would make them work harder and play longer. Maybe you could make them as a reward for having a certain amount of moves made in Valley of Conquerors so people would play the stupid game and we wouldn't hate our lives, and you will have lost nothing because people still have to pay to get the power. That's what you want people to pay for. Now just give them a free reward of a skin and you have so much power in your fingertips. But you could also sell these loot boxes for $2.50 or $3, and people could buy sets of them. Maybe if you buy 10 of them, you get it even cheaper than that. And people are going to roll on it. They're going to make videos about it. They're going to be hyped about it. They're going to get other people excited about it. Guess what? You just made a boatload of money. Do you know what else you could do? You could sell cosmetic parts that you could add on to your champions, because the whole reason that we all wanted to play your game is because of the idea of customizing our champions. We all saw some of the ads that were pretty much false advertising, but the ones that were accurate showed us that marriage was a part of the game and that making hybrids was an important part of the game. Well, let me tell you something that you've dropped the ball on while we're ranting here today. You have dropped the ball on the cosmetic aspect of making hybrids. We don't want just recolors. Have you heard me say that before? Because if you were watching the video, I literally just said it. We don't want that. We want horns. We want wings. We want a big claw, maybe. We want ice armor shards that show up on our character when we make the hybrids. When I made my Shayun clan, I wanted the crown. I wanted the crown to transfer. It doesn't have to be a body part. You could make it something like a hat that transfers over, and we would be happy with that. But you could also sell things like capes, shoulder armor, special weapons. You want to know one that would be hugely popular, and it would cost you $0 to animate, and it would work on every champion skeleton instantly without you having to do a lot of work? Guess what? If you watched any video game that's ever existed that uses this model, the answer is auras. I'm talking about smoke effects, vapor effects, cosmic waves, stars that twinkle around, silly ones like bunny rabbits that dance around your feet. Maybe you've got a puppy that chases you. You could sell all of these cosmetic things and make tons of money, and everybody would love it. You could also sell dye. Just dye. I want to dye my character's hair. Cool. You want to unlock this purple hair dye. That's going to cost you $2 American. Now you have purple hair dye. You can use it infinitely. Don't make it consumable. We will hate you. I don't want to hate you. I want to love you. Make the hair dye. Make it a one-time cost per color. Sell bundles of colors. People will buy it. They will buy so much of it. All right, so I covered how you can still make money. I covered how you can have a Guild Conquest type game mode and make it so people aren't quitting the game daily because of it. Well, I've been talking about PvE game modes that I want to see. How could we possibly make it so that those would be effective? Well, astute High Guardians, have I got the answers for you? The answer is we need boss fights that happen regularly, and when I say regularly, I mean once a week. You have to get them done weekly. That is how often I want to fight these bosses. How are you going to make them effective? How is it going to make Goat Games money? Well, I've got the answers for that too. Isn't that great how I've already done all of this for you? What you're going to do is you're going to make bosses that have different weaknesses and different strengths. What is that going to do for us? Well, it's going to encourage us to have different champions, and it's going to encourage us to use different effects to break through the mold of what we actually need to do. One of these bosses could just heal way too much. You better have anti-heal or he's going to heal way too much, and then you won't be able to play. Then you gotta actually build a new team that can do the thing. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, well, what about burning stacks? We have Pyromancer, we have characters that apply burning stacks. We got Kargs, we got Ignis. You could be bringing back some of these old champions and making them relevant to the game again. Or perhaps you would just have Pyromancer on newer champions and that would work too. Either way you do it, you gotta do some burning damage, and that's what's going to take them out. Maybe somebody takes huge amounts of damage when they get stunned or immobilized or knocked back or any of these things that could be a weakness that you could use, and it would encourage us to build different teams. That being said, if you're gonna do that, you need to have two difficulties for the bosses. You need to have a difficulty that is approachable for the average player, meaning that at maximum 10 stars for each champion is required for you to be able to build a team that's going to be able to get through the content. Now, that's not going to sell you enough packs, and I know, Goat Games, you're thinking, I'm trying to make a couple of dollars here. After all, I'm a business. I can respect that. You should make a couple of dollars, and I would love to help you do it. Here's what we're going to do. We're also going to make an elite version of this. Now, the elite version of this is going to work the same way, except it's going to expect that you have a 15-star version of the champion in order to fully complete the boss. However, we're going to have a scale system where the more damage you do, the closer you get to these bosses and killing them, the more rewards that you're going to get. So people who are sitting at their 12 or 13 stars can actually still compete in those and get somewhere and do something. And then we would all be encouraged. Participate in these events, and we would have fun experimenting with how efficiently we could kill these bosses with the lowest amount of resources spent. Still going to cost us a lot. You're still going to make a lot of money, but we're all going to enjoy the game and have a lot of fun and have things to talk about that bring us together instead of talking about how much we hate Guild Conquest and taking that anger out on each other and ruining the community and separating guilds and making people unhappy because everybody hates what they have to do all the time on Guild Conquest. All the time. Now, I did mention that sprites also are causing a huge ruckus. Well, let me tell you something. The reason that sprites are a big problem is because they are too expensive. They aren't good until they're maxed out. If you're a top player, you must use sprites that are maxed out, or you will lose. You won't win. So you have to have maxed out sprites. And if they come out with new ones that are better, you're going to have to pay way too much to keep up. And guess what? Even these people who are spending thousands of dollars a month are over it. It's gone too far. They don't want to spend that much anymore. So you gotta stop. I know that you're seeing dollar signs in your eyes when you look at these sprites, but you gotta stop because you are ruining the game. You need to give everybody a good Bulko sprite for free because it's a problem. It's a big problem. It's not a problem because Bulko is so good that it's a problem. It's a problem because of public perception. Everybody looks at Bulko as, well, if I didn't get that, then I can't win and I can't play. And you're creating negativity in your own environment and you're causing the seeds of destruction for the game. Just give it to people. Just give it to people. It's fine. Make them pay to upgrade it. But just give them one that's really good. Maybe one that has an affix on it that everybody already really likes. I bet you could get away with doing that and have it be good. And everybody would be singing your praises about how generous Goat Games is for that one tiny little act of sweetness that you gave to us in that one occasion. We'd remember it. And also, what you need to do is you need to reduce what it takes to have a good sprite. And if you're not going to do that, or if you legally can't do that because of how gacha games work, then you need to just stop bringing out more of them, maybe once every 2 months. Otherwise, we don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. We want to set our sprites and be done with them. We don't like the system. But luckily, I gave you that whole series of cosmetics that's going to earn you a ton of money and probably double the spending of the average player. As somebody like me who normally doesn't spend on anything with these games, I have played games before that were entirely cosmetic based, and I have spent hundreds of dollars, yes, literally hundreds of dollars, for simple cosmetics just because I wanted to look cool. And that's exactly the game model that people like Fortnite have, and they are crushing the video game industry. So know your audience. Know that if you're, at least in North America, you could be making heaps of money. Absolutely heaps. Just take our money. Now, those are just the start. What I would also like to see is a game mode that is guild-based, and I want it to just be a series of events, sort of like a campaign, like a guild campaign, where we work together and we organize fights. Well, how are we going to do that and make it fun? Well, everybody will have to progress through their own campaign to a certain degree, and then when you get to boss fights, there's going to be a certain time where these boss fights take place. Once a week, perhaps. And what you're going to do is you're going to have unlocked that part of the campaign, you're going to get to that boss fight, and you're going to input your team. And then your team is going to all fight at the one predetermined time, and you'll be able to go back and view the fight if you weren't online when it happened. You might have some people who are running all healers and some that are running all damage and whatever you want to do, but it would be a nice event for us to play through and work together and have a good time. And maybe you could have seasonal updates where a new portion of campaign comes out and we get to work together. We would enjoy that. Please take any of these criticisms to heart and please make the game better. You cannot focus on Guild Conquest or this game will not last a year. I'm just saying, you will be dead in a year if you keep this up. You must stop. Now, maybe in other environments, in other countries, then it's working great for you and it's going to be fine. I mean, I have viewers from Italy and South Africa and Bosnia and Serbia and Cuba and everywhere around the world, Denmark and Ireland and everywhere. Every English-speaking place in the world has been in agreement with the things that I've been saying whenever I got a response from those people. So, Goat Games, I'm just trying to help you out. Everybody else, if you disagree with what I'm saying here, or maybe if some of my ideas were half-cocked and they need a little bit of polish, feel free to polish them in the description below. If you love Guild Conquest, then by all means tell us how much you love it. It's important to hear both sides. And if you absolutely hate Guild Conquest, then feel comfortable, girl, and let your hair down and just scream into the wind of the comments section, because we are here for you and we feel it and we don't like it either. So hey, I'm sorry that this was a little bit negative, but when I watch the game hemorrhaging hundreds of thousands of dollars because they are having all of their top players quit from a game mode that I've been saying is garbage for a year and they've done nothing but try to support it more, I feel like I gotta try to say something and get some attention to the video so that maybe the developers will see what's going on and avert the disaster before we hit the iceberg and the Titanic sinks, because I don't want to be on the ship when it's sinking. I'll be honest with you. Now, normally I do guide videos and funny videos and it's not like this negativity, so, you know, subscribe for that if that's the sort of thing that revs your engine up. For now, I want to thank you for watching. I have been Rage Panda 1 and I will see you in the next one.